What is that?
This is
Say it so I can slap you.
like an E7,
Now what does it go to?
E minor 7 to A minor.
That's what the heck I said. Next time do it. Okay. 1, 2, 1, 2. My name is Louis Graham. I am from Detroit, Michigan. I was originally born and raised on the east side of Detroit and then moved over to the west side of Detroit. I was raised in a house with pretty much all of my siblings, 3 sisters, and then 2 brothers, including my twin brother, Jerry. I am a senior here at the university studying biomolecular science and music. Music is my minor concentration and biomolecular science is my major. I started playing the bass when I was a freshman in high school. Initially, I didn't know anything about what particular instrument I wanted to play, but I did want to play drums when I first got to high school because I thought that was like the cool thing to do. But when I signed up for marching band, they told me that I didn't audition, so I wasn't going to be able to join the marching band. So they told me I could join the orchestra, and I was just like, okay, not sure if I'm going to fit in here. But eventually, he just said, my professor told me he could see me playing the bass, and then it just went from there. I fell in love with it. As far as what music means to me, music, as I stated, it's pretty much my life, and not even on a stereotypical note. Like, music has given me so much exposure to different types of people, different types of experiences and situations. Specifically on a professional note, just being the director of small ensembles for the Michigan Pops Orchestra, I was able to do a lot of things as a musician and as one of the coordinators for the orchestra. Being able to coordinate a concert that can range from 7 acts all the way up to 14 acts, and seeing, just going wild with the publicity to see who I can get to come to the shows and enjoy their time. Music just gives me so many different experiences and helps me grow on a day-to-day basis. All the way from practicing my instrument to become more diligent in detail, all the way up to, when I'm talking to someone else about my experiences, how music is able to, provide this outlet to me to be able to just do wonderful things. In terms of passion, one of the things that I like to keep in mind is I think I am fortunate enough to have a passion that I'm able to apply to different situations and different endeavors that I go, especially throughout the university. I was fortunate enough, even though I did not major in music and I was almost close to not even minoring in music, I knew that I could always depend on, just being able to fall back on playing the bass if I ever needed to, or being able to participate in ensembles and play at gigs. Music was just always going to be there for me. That was like not a question, especially in terms of how connected I got to my instrument and to the groups that I play with. It's just a really amazing thing. In the ensembles that I play in, I pretty much look at myself as relating that to my job as an advisor. As an advisor, I, hate to say it, but I give advice on different means of, building group morale, making sure people have well intentions, making sure people understand that we have a common goal. Those principles can both be taken into the practice room as well as into what I like to call the Umoja Lounge, which is the multicultural space here in Alice Lloyd. Just keeping those principles in mind helps us to have really great performances, so performing well, just as we would if we were creating an event, or me as an advisor being able to make sure that people in the group are still willing to commit, still willing to practice, still willing to do what it is they need to do to make sure we're able to accomplish our goal. I think those things coincide one in one, and the shameful part is a lot of people don't see that coming from our musicians here at the university, especially those who are leaders and musicians. Those skills definitely correlate, and I use them all the time. When I initially went to the Michigan Youth Arts Festival, I forget which year this was. It was either 2010 or 11. But I that was when I had first recognized my minority status. Being that I came from a predominantly black high school, a predominantly black neighborhood, everyone around me pretty much looked the same and acted the same. Attending the Michigan Youth Arts Festival was my first exposure to pretty much anyone who, on a more day-to-day basis, because I believe I was there for like almost a week, if I remember how it worked correctly. It was such a long time ago, and that's so scary. But so my minority status came into effect when I started to realize that I had trouble and an innate fear within myself of interacting with people who looked different from me. How that impacted me socially, it did have a bit of a toll. I did find myself, wanting to just spend time in a room, especially when my friends who were at the festival in the jazz program, the orchestra program was super separate from the jazz program, and I could only see them like very little. So I had issues just meeting people, and on top of that, I'm an introvert, so it just made things 10 times worse. But after the experience, of just feeling a little bit lonely and just spending time on my own and just recollecting the fact that, wow, this is strange, this is really new to me. I did have a few people who just reached out to me, especially the bass section of the orchestra, who were just like, we're here ready to meet new people, this is our first time too. You get that common ground with people, and once you're able to find that, that's where you're able to start maneuvering and feel better about it. I definitely appreciate the experience because it made me so much more prepared when I got to U of M. Being that this campus only has, I don't know if the stats have changed, but the last time I looked it up, it was 4.2% of Black Americans here at the university, and that's including like the entire student body of the university. So just now knowing how that felt and coming here, I was able to help others adjust to this type of climate. I'm having friends who come here from either the same high school or the same types of neighborhoods. The most comforting feeling is when you're able to reach out to someone who either has related to you or you have that ally who might not even be, could identify as Black. When that person's able to reach out and say, hi, I'm noticing this type of behavior, or I'm noticing this, but just know that I'm here for support, or how can I support you in this moment? That's a wonderful question that anyone could ask, and that's one closer step to being a great ally as well. For those people who just might not feel at home or might not feel safe, or it's 101 ways that this could impact a person. So it just made me appreciate that experience all the more. I became a diversity peer educator. Basically, what's funny about it is the initial response to hearing about this position when I was joining Res Staff. I initially wanted to be an RA because I just knew about that stereotypical, oh, I'm the cool RA and everyone's gonna love me. I thought that was gonna give me some cool points. But I'm just kidding. But I wanted to be a DPE when the supervisors over diversity and inclusion started recognizing that I was a bit more cognizant of my identities. That said something about it in itself, that I should try to, dive into this endeavor, see what happens, and see how I enjoy it. I was able to find that I'm able to have conversations, the types of conversations that I want to have with residents of all identities from all backgrounds. I get all types of questions on a week-to-week basis from residents who are just uncertain about some things. Being a DPE has given me exposure to the different perspectives that are here on this very campus. Some things that are just, some voices that are never heard, some voices that are the dominant narrative that definitely need more exposure. When I'm that outlet for them, I definitely appreciate that as well. Just the type of impact that I'm able to have on my residents and people in the community, both Residence Hall-wide and U of M campus-wide, is giving me definitely a great hat, to wear as far as when I walk around campus. Sometimes I'm known as the pronoun guy because I'm able to teach everyone about, gender inclusive pronouns, or I talk to others about the social climate, bring awareness to different things that are going and making national headlines at some point in time. I never ever want people to consider me as this expert, but I am this person that's able to offer support if they ever feel that their experiences or an identity that they hold is trivialized. If I had anything to say to anyone that is listening right now, I would say recognize that whatever your passion might be, never feel afraid of applying all the different skills or all the different techniques you learn from that passion into any of your other endeavors.